I don't know what to say anymore, guys. I really don't know what to say anymore about this team. I just don't. 3 missed double plays. Ottavino tries to get the save, does not. Right? And this is why Edwin Diaz not being right is a big deal to this team. Right? You saw the graphic late in the ball game that SNY put up. 9 blown leads in May. You win half of those, you're a 500 team. Right? On top of that, the Mets had 2 hits. 2 from the first inning until the 8th inning, until they got the extra 2 hits to make it 4 hits in the 9th inning. Me and Chris talked about this. This team is not clutch. Or, excuse me, the main guys are not clutch. And when you rely on Bader and Vientos and Batty and these type of Tyrone Taylor, these type of guys, it's a little bit more of a icing on the cake when you get those type of performances from those guys. But it shouldn't be expected on a daily basis. That's why you got the top of the lineup. Those 3 guys, look at it. 1 for 5, 2 for 4, 0 for 2 and a couple of strikeouts. A ton of strikeouts. A total of 7 strikeouts from your top 3 hitters. Right? Like, I just don't understand how many more times can I keep on saying this core sucks. They're not clutch. They're bad under big situations and pressure situations over and over again. What else do you need to see from this team? Right? I'm sick and tired of waiting for Beta to come up and waiting for, Tyrone Taylor or somebody else that we shouldn't be expecting to get big hits. Right? In the 9th inning, Pete Alonso should put that ball over the wall. Brandon Nimmo had a terrible at-bat. Well, I just don't get it. You can't get a sacrifice fly to get in a run with bases loaded and 1 out. It continues to be the same thing. And I don't even want to talk about the 9th inning. The fact is, from the 1st inning to the 8th inning, besides the 2-run homer from Francisco Lindor and another hit, from the 1st inning to the 8th inning, you had 2 hits. What do you do? What happens when you continue to keep a team close? When you don't get the insurance runs and you put them out of their misery, you give them hope. When it continues to be 2-0, 2-0 later in the ball game and you don't get no insurance runs, it gives the other team hope. Because all you need is a bloop and a blast, a couple of hits here, and you're back in the ball game. Exactly what happened in the 8th and the 9th inning. The fact that they couldn't get any more insurance runs is the problem with this baseball team. And me and Chris talked about it. What was the problem? What has been the problem? Bad teams find a way to lose games. This is the first win for the Dodgers this year, trailing after 8 innings. They're not good in close games. They're not good trailing in late in games. Yet the Mets found a way to give this game away from give this game to the Dodgers. 9 blown saves, 9 blown leads in May. And they find another way to lose these ball games. This is an overall effort of losers. It really is. It's just completely frustrating, completely for a team, for a fan base. Let me talk about you guys as well, because the amount of backlash I've been getting about this core that slowly a lot of people are coming around to now. And I've said this 2 years ago. This core is the problem. I'm sorry, you can't have 7 strikeouts from your 3 main guys in your lineup. A total of 3 hits If it wasn't for Lindor's home run, they would have had Ugats. That's the problem, guys. This is the problem. If you don't want to believe me, go ahead and sign Alonso and bring this whole core back when they've been together every year continuing to lose. And I'm sick and tired of talking about, oh, they don't have nobody else on this team. Did you see the lineup of the Dodgers 5 through 9? It is absolutely garbage. Do you know why they win ball games? Because their 4 players at the top of the lineup do their fucking job. I'm sick and tired of people, oh, how can you replace 45? You know what I replace? A loser. That's what I replace. They do not come up clutch often enough to tell me that they're worth keeping around. I'm sorry. You have Chris Taylor batting 8th in the lineup, batting under 100. You got everybody else 6 through 9 in that are barely batting over 200. And what's happening? Why are they winning? Because their pitching hasn't really been that good. You know why they're winning? Because their top 4 guys in their lineup, which the Mets supposedly had, according to a lot of baseball fans, a lot of Mets fans, they're not doing their job well enough. I keep on saying somebody's like, oh, Alonso has been fine. You are not going to sign Alonso long-term for him to be fine. He needs to be better in bigger situations. I'm sorry. Too many of his 40 to 45 home runs are wasted home runs. Home runs where the Mets have a big enough lead where his home runs are useless. Yeah, he hits a couple of game winners here. He hits a big home run here and there, but he doesn't do it enough. In the 9th inning there, it's cute to hit a base hit. Beautiful. Do I blame Tyrone Taylor and Jeff McNeil for not getting in the runs with bases loaded, 1 out or 2 outs? Yes, absolutely. They need to do the job. But you're not paying Tyrone Taylor and Jeff McNeil the big bucks. You know who you're paying the big bucks to? The top 3 guys in the lineup. Even Pete Alonso's getting, what, $17, $18 million in his arbitration year, and he's expecting 25 plus. You got to do the job. It's very simple. It is very simple. And thank you, Mark. And I want to bring up your comment because I was thinking the same exact thing. Tyrone Taylor should have bunted. With his speed, there would have been at the very least, if they would have not got the run in at home and they would have got the force out at home, at least Tyrone Taylor would have beat it out in first and you would have still had bases loaded with Jeff McNeil coming up. Have that thought in their head. But no. And again, Tyrone Taylor, this is the problem. We have to expect guys like Tyrone Taylor and Jeff McNeil to do the job. Jeff McNeil hasn't been good since 2022, guys. Could we forget about Jeff McNeil? I've been telling you about him for years. He's a useless player if he doesn't bat over 300. You believe me now? He went from batting leadoff 3 or 4 years back to batting second a couple of years ago. Now batting 7 and 8 in Irrelevantville in the lineup. And this is who we're counting on. Like when Harrison Bader came up, I'm like, oh, but you know what? They didn't even want to deal with Bader. They pitched around Bader to get to other guys that probably are less likely to get it done. This is the issue. Easy, I understand that, but if you look at Hudson, though, he threw 3 balls that were nowhere near the zone. So I'm not going to go crazy on the 3-1 fastball there. That's a tough pitch to decide, okay, if it's in my zone, I'm going to swing at it. Right? I wish he would have swung at it. He might have hit that ball hard. But if he would have hit the ball hard at 3-1 and grounded into a double play, even hitting the ball hard, we would have went crazy. Why are you swinging at a pitch 3-1 where the guy's been wild 3 out of the 4 pitches? So I'm not going to go crazy with that. But again, we're talking about players that we're expecting a supporting cast to do everything here. I'm sorry, guys. Look at 1 through 3. I'm sorry. I'm sick and tired of it. Right? After Lindor hit the home run, he did nothing else. Pete Alonso went 2 for 4, a couple of lowly singles. Brandon Nimmo 0 for 2, a couple of walks, 2 strikeouts. 7 strikeouts between the 3 of these guys. That can't happen, especially against a team like the Dodgers, because you cannot keep these guys in the ball game. Even if you would have got another run in 1 through the first inning through the 8th, or the 4th inning to the 8th inning, got an extra run here. Now you have a 3-run lead. You have a little bit more of a cushion. But you keep this team you keep any team in a ball game, they're gonna start to get the confidence that they can come back with a blue-pitted blast or a couple of hits to get back into the ball game. This is the issue. Yeah, but Daniel, we haven't been talking about the same stuff for months. I've been talking about it for years. Nobody wants to listen. Everybody's afraid to criticize the core of this team. Because when I criticize Alonso, everybody jumps to Lindor. This is the problem. Right? Have Lindor has been good? Absolutely not. He's been part of the problem. But let's not act like who is not the face of the franchise here and who's been a part and probably just as much as the problem as Francisco Lindor. Because all you Met fans want to sign Alonso regardless of price. A lot of you did. You want to give Alonso $250 million over 8 to 10 years? Because I'm not. Because he doesn't do it enough in big spots. I'm sorry. Ever since 2022, prior to September, it was an absolute mess the last 2 seasons. And you can give me all of them individual stats all you want. Because every time I give you an Alonso year of stats, I'll give you Francisco Lindor's year last year. And what are you going to tell me? Lindor pads stats. Well, Pete Alonso does too. Sorry. You don't like it, but it's a fact. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. A lot of irrelevant home runs, a lot of oops, I got a home run when it really doesn't matter, when the team's out of it, so there's no pressure. Or in spots where the Mets are down a lot of runs or the Mets are up by a lot of runs and they're not home runs that really matter, right? That that base hit from Pete Alonso, that ball needs to be over the wall. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Like I said, you mark my words, guys. And by the way, guys, Chris had something come up last minute. That's why he's not here. And I guarantee you, he would come back with me and confirm this. In the 9th inning, right? I said Pete Alonso needs to hit the ball over the wall here. Exactly what I texted him, messaged him in the group chat before the inning started, the bottom of the 9th started. He needs to hit one over the wall. Because I didn't what am I expecting? Pete Alonso to get a base hit and JD Martinez to get a base hit. Brandon Nimmo looked like he never hit a baseball in his life and struck out on 4 pitches? He looked terrible at the plate. I'm sorry. Brandon Nimmo, failed experiment in the 3-hole. He's absolutely terrible. All those guys, everybody's like, oh, he's the biggest RBI guy. Yeah, because everybody else sucks. That's why. We're glorifying Brandon Nimmo because the rest of the guys that are supposed to be the run producers are not doing the job. So we have to put Nimmo there because he has more RBIs than everybody else. The fact is he's been, 212? Come on, guys. Like, let's be serious here. Brandon Nimmo is not a RBI producer. He's not, because he's been absolutely disgusting in those spots. He's a leadoff hitter that is afraid to steal bases. He has to go back to the leadoff spot. He just feels like a better hitter in a leadoff spot. I don't think putting Brandon Nimmo there because the rest of the guys suck is going to make a difference when he's not been a run producer his entire career. But we're trying to make him that what is his most RBIs in his career? Was it last year at 74, 75 RBIs? And we're expecting him to be a 3-hitter and a big run producer on this team to hit 90? It ain't happening. He's never been that player. He never will be. Let's be real, guys. Let's be realistic, right? Because everybody talks about the $340 million man, but let's not act like Nimmo is not one of the highest paid center fielders in baseball. Like, come on. It's a huge issue, guys. And we continue to not brush it under the rug like nothing's wrong. Like, I give a lot of Met fans credit, slowly but surely, and it's been a little twist in their heart a little bit, but they're starting to come around on the issue when it comes to Pete Alonso. I said it to Chris right before the 9th inning started. He needs to hit the ball over the wall. Because even if Alonso, Nimmo, Martinez get on base, right? Which 2 out of the 3 did. Bader got the walk. Now you're talking about the bottom of the order trying to get the job done again. Because a lot of the time, the bottom of the order has come through the entire season. The supporting cast has been doing their job. You can't expect them to be the main guys doing the job when your big guys are hitting, see-through base hits when they're the guys that are supposed to be winning you ball games. Like it's ridiculous. No, great. Lindor hit a 2-run home run. Yeah, you got to clap for that. But what did you do the rest of the game? It's just an issue. Yeah, and it's not even that. The fact of the matter is, you saw the at bats by a lot of these Dodgers after Lindor hit that home run. They were terrible. Tylor Megill went 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, as you see on your screen, and you lose that ball game. How many times have we had nice pitching performance? This isn't even nice. This is hell of a good start. If I told you prior to the game that Megill's stat line is going to be what is on the screen right now, you'd be like, oh, that's great. Can't expect anything more than that. Absolutely not. We continue to waste performances like this, and then we wonder why we always go back to the main issue. The number one least issue that we talked about in the offseason, nobody was concerned about the lineup. Everybody thought that this lineup would be good enough because you expect Lindor and Alonso and Nimmo to be what they usually are, play to the back of their baseball cards. They didn't do that last year. Don't give me the stats from Lindor and Alonso because they were very much padded over the course of no pressure situations for the last 3 months of the season, and everybody's going to be like, oh, well, no, because it didn't matter after June. It didn't matter in June, actually, because in the middle of June, it was over. So, and Hayden brings it up. Should you fire Eric Chavez? Who cares? I'm sorry. You got a veteran in Nimmo, a veteran in Alonso, a veteran in Lindor, and a veteran JD Martinez. If they can't figure it out and it takes a hitting coach to do so, then why'd you ever pay these guys? Shouldn't they know? I'm sorry, guys. Go in the batting cage and figure it out. You don't need Eric Chavez, who is a solid player, telling you what you need to do at the plate when in 2022, when a lot of you had your best seasons, why change anything from that point? The fact of the matter is, they're not good in pressurized situations. I'm sorry. That's it. It has nothing to do with anything else. The fact is, Pete Alonso came up in the ninth. He could have hit the ball up over the wall, not a see-through base hit between short and third. Again, it got the inning started. Great. Wonderful. But what did it lead to? It lead to Tyrone Taylor, Harrison Bader, Tyrone Taylor, and Jeff McNeil being the guys who are runners on base. These are not the guys you want to have in run-producing situations because they're not supposed to be the main guys continuing to win you ball games. It's nice to have every now and then because that's your supporting cast. Your big guys at the top should have done the job. If it wasn't Alonso, Nimmo needed to jack one over the wall. But guess what? Nimmo's not that type of guy. I'm sorry, guys. Let's not act like Nimmo's oldest run producer guy when the most RBIs he hit was 77, 78. Great. Marte done that 2 years ago. So he's not a run producer. He's not a big run producer. Sorry, he's just not. He's been terrible in the 3 spot. Absolutely terrible. I think he has just about 20 strikeouts since he got moved to the 3 hole. Get him the fuck out of there. I don't care where you put him. Put him 9th. I don't care. I'm sorry. Lindor has been a little bit better leadoff. Alonso has been okay in the 2 hole. They haven't really been major issues in the 2 leadoff and 2 hole. Nimmo's been a problem in the 3 hole. Get him the fuck out of there. I don't care where you put him. Put Nimmo back to leadoff and let Lindor figure it out in the 2 spot or in the 3 spot. I don't care. It's just amazing to me. Nimmo's had his great seasons the last 2 seasons, 2 seasons in the leadoff spot. Don't mess with him. Nimmo was doing just fine, getting his RBIs, and you move him from a spot where he was productive because guess who? Lindor and Alonso haven't been doing their jobs in the 3 and 4 spot. So what do? You move those clowns and move Nimmo from a comfortable position because your other 2 clowns who wants to be the highest paid players on his team, both of them, not doing their job. Yet you're going to have to make these other guys uncomfortable because your 2 best run producers are not doing the job. You see that issue? Your two best run producers are not doing the job. So you have to change other guys that have been doing well in certain positions, move them because, the faces of the franchises, as some people call them, are not doing their job. So it's a trickle-down effect. When they don't do their job, it affects others because you're moving guys that are comfortable in uncomfortable situations. Brandon Nimmo is not a 3-hitter. Sorry. I know we have this conversation about with CP and Hector, who really like the Nimmo in the 3 spot. Nimmo's not a run producer. He's more comfortable with his 75, 78 RBIs in the leadoff spot. That's fine for us when Lindor and Alonso are doing their job. You can't expect Nimmo to automatically, because he's good with runners on base, move him in a spot where he's not comfortable, clearly, to be a run producer. Now you expect him to be a 90 RBI guy? Because you can't have a 3-hitter that has 75 RBIs. You're not a good team if that's the case. Sorry, you're just not. Yeah, and that's the issue. Yeah, well, Dave, great. Look, Lindor got it started. That's great. But he did nothing else after that. And I'm a big Lindor supporter. Everybody knows that. And if you don't, you know that. But I'm killing him as well because he did nothing else. He had a really nice swing on a hanger, took it deep to right field. Great. But you have to feed off of that a little bit. And he didn't. With 4 strikeouts. It's come on. Alonso, see-through single. Nimmo, I don't know what the hell he was trying to do in the 9th inning. It's like he didn't even want to bother. JD Martinez got a base. JD Martinez, too. He needs to want to beat a jacket out of the yard. But you had Pete Alonso, Nimmo, and Martinez. One of those guys needed to hit a ball in the gap with a runner on or put the ball over the wall. None of them did that. That's a fail. You could talk about, they got the hit in the 9th. Are we paying you to get base hits, or are we paying you to drive the ball over the wall? Aren't you supposed to be the run producers? Yeah. Okay. And it led to Bader, Tylor, McNeil to get the big hit and the game-winning hit. Again. How many more times do you expect these guys to come through when they're your supporting cast? You're not paying these guys to get the job done every single time in the biggest spot. It just doesn't happen. Sorry. Because I saw the Dodgers in the 10th. Freeman hit a ball over the wall to give the extra 2 runs. Betts got a base hit in the 10th, right? Guess who? The big guys. Because the Dodgers bottom middle did absolutely nothing. They're winning because of their 1 through 4. The Mets are losing because of their 1 through 4. You see the difference? Yet everybody, you can't lose Alonso. Yes, you can. Give me 2 guys that can bat 260 and give me 25 home runs, and you extend your lineup. You expand your lineup. It's very simple. Give me 2 guys that are better in clutch situations that might hit 25 home runs apiece. And guess what? That's 50 home runs in 2 guys in your lineup. And then you have other guys that are 20 home run guys, 25 home run guys. And now you got 4 guys that have really good numbers instead of 2 guys that might hit 30 and 45. Because those guys are just not, you're not extending your lineup well enough. I just don't think it is. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to check the comments. They're flying in. I appreciate that, guys. Yeah, Brad, exactly what I opened up with. You had 2 hits from the 1st inning to the 9th inning. From the first inning to the 8th inning, you had 2 hits. One of them was a 2-run homer by Lindor, and the other one was a hit during whatever inning. I forgot which inning it was. You can't have 2 hits in the ball game and have no insurance runs and a team that was waiting to break out in the Dodgers, who lost 5 in a row, who was scuffling. They were taking terrible at-bats the entire game until the 9th. You got to win that ball game. And this is the issue when you have problems with Edwin Diaz not being himself. Because now you put guys in situations that they're not good in. Adam Ottavino's not a closer. What did you expect from him? Did anybody have confidence in him? I said this in the pregame to Chris. I asked him the question, do you put Edwin Diaz in the ninth in a save situation? We both said yes. You got to put him on there, and you got to trust him because you're not winning without him. You're putting in a guy that is not good in that role, and then we expect it to happen. Yeah, and you know what? We're killing Ottavino, and look, he's a professional. He's got to get it done. But you're putting guys in situations that are not doing it, and we're doing it to Reed Garrett. We're putting him in big situations that he's not accustomed to. And then we expect him, when he blows up and gives up a ton of runs and loses the game for us, we get mad at him like he's this wonderful reliever when he's done it this year for about the majority of the season. But you're expecting guys in situations they're not comfortable in to continue to do that job. It's just stupid. Diaz needed to be in there in the ninth. Now, I understand. I'm not killing Mendoza because I understand the logic in putting Ottavino and not Diaz. But all that's telling you is that you're so scared to put Diaz in to blow a game that you're willing to put anybody that is not comfortable in that save situation in that spot instead. So you're putting a player in an uncomfortable situation because you are not comfortable with Diaz, who is a closer, regardless of how he's been. The fact is, what if Diaz would have came in the ninth, shut the door down, won the ball game, got the save, and now you're going into game 2 with a victory against the Dodgers, who just lost 6 in a row. And you might got your closer back in Diaz. Now, if Diaz would have blew it, people would have killed him. Oh, you needed to put out somebody else. But who? That's the problem. That is the issue. So that is the continued problem that we're having. We're continuing to put people in other situations, bad situations that they're not comfortable in because the guys that are supposed to be doing the job are not right now. And that goes for Lindor, Nimmo, Alonso, right? The culprits are Lindor and Alonso. That is making Nimmo uncomfortable, putting him in a 3-hole that he's not accustomed to, that he is not that guy for. Sorry. Put him back in the leadoff spot. Let Lindor and Alonso figure it out in the 2-3, 3-4 spot, whatever. You're affecting Nimmo, who is having a good season, because Lindor and Alonso can't get the job done. So you put Nimmo in a run production part in the lineup that he's not accustomed to. It's just that simple. Same thing with the bullpen. Reed Garrett and Ottavino are going to get put in uncomfortable spots because Diaz is whatever's wrong with Diaz. I would have thrown in Diaz there, and I would have lost or win with him. No. Easy. I never wanted Nimmo out of lead. No, I never wanted Nimmo in the leadoff spot. Hector and CP did, which they're not wrong about. I understand why they wanted them out of there. But why did they want Nimmo out of there? Because if Alonso and Lindor were doing their job, Nimmo would have never left from the leadoff spot. The reason why we had this conversation for a couple of weeks now. And look, I didn't disagree with them because their logic made sense, just like the Mets logic made sense. Their 2-run producers were not doing the job, so they had to change it up. Who had the most RBI? Nimmo, to put him in the 3-hole, the big run producing spot. That's the issue. So they're not technically wrong. I didn't agree with it because I don't think Nimmo is anything but a leadoff hitter. The only thing I don't like about Nimmo as a leadoff hitter is that when he gets on base, he's scared to steal the base. That's the issue. But I think he has nearly 20 strikeouts since he's been in the 3-hole. That ain't doing the job. And that's unfortunate because Nimmo was having a good season prior to getting to the 3-hole. The reason why CP and Hector wanted him to go in a 3-hole because he was having a good season. But he was having better seasons than Lindor and Alonso. That is the problem. If Lindor and Alonso wasn't having an issue, they would have never talked about Nimmo being in the 3-hole or out of the leadoff spot. That's what I'm saying. It's the cause and effect. The cause, Alonso and Lindor are not doing the job. So Nimmo is affected by that. Same thing with Ottavino and Garrett. the cause is Diaz, and the effect is Garrett and Ottavino in uncomfortable situations. And then we expect them to do a job that they're not comfortable in. When you put bullpen guys in, these guys are so accustomed to certain ways, and a lot of them, it's like 95% of bullpen arms. It's rare that a bullpen arm can pitch in any situation because they can't. They like certain situations. Ottavino, 7th and the 8th. We know that. Reed Garrett recently has been 6th, 7th, or 8th. And that was working because you had Diaz in the 9th. But because the cause of Diaz, it is affecting the two guys that shouldn't be in those spots. And then we expect them to come through. Look, Ottavino's a veteran. He needs to get it done. But we're killing a guy, and we do this all the time. We kill a guy that doesn't get the job done. But why wasn't he? Like, I didn't like Nimmo's at bat in the 9th, but what do you expect from Nimmo, who is not that guy? He is not a run producer. A 75 RBI guy is not a run producer. He is a solid player who is a solid RBI guy that can get it done probably about 75% of the time. I'm sorry, you need a hell of a lot more than that. And again, the Dodgers won this game. Why? They slowly crept back, but it was their top 4 hitters. Right? Who got the big hits in the 9th and the 10th? In the 10th inning. Right? It was Betts and Freeman. Where was the top 3 guys from the Mets? Or top 4 guys for the Mets? Nowhere to be found. Let's hand it off to the Baders, Taylors, McNeils of the world. What do you expect? Because those guys aren't run producers either. We expect Bader to come through all the time because he's the only one that does. You had the game won. That's fine. Ottavino needs to get that job done. But again, Reed Garrett blew it not too long ago in May. Diaz blown 2. Ottavino's done it again. Like, anybody you put there, it's not working. So why not just go back to Diaz and hope for the best? Like, when are you putting Diaz in at all then? Like trade him. Like, you're not using him. You're wasting him. Let him go out there and figure it out. Because maybe even if he is wild and he got batters swinging away at bad sliders or bad fastballs up in the zone, at least Diaz still has that swing and miss stuff if he has it on point a little bit. Like, it's just crazy to me. Yeah, the Batty error was huge. Again, could we stop about? Did we give Batty enough chances? We're gonna talk about Batty hasn't got enough at bats? Because Batty is a minor league. He's a quadruple A player. He'll hit his big home runs in Triple A and look like barely a major leaguer, if that. He's gonna be a journeyman. Vientos, I don't know. I think he can have a bat for the majors, but you can't keep him. The reason why the Mets are going to keep him at third base because Batty sucks. So now you hope Vientos can not make bad defensive plays because you need his bat in the lineup. Once again, cause and effect. The cause, Lindor, Alonso, Nimmo, McNeil. So you need Vientos' at bat in the lineup. That's the issue. You see the cause and effect here? There's always a cause that affects somebody else. So you put in Vientos in the lineup because you need his bat because the other morons are not doing their job. Once again. Very simple. Yeah, I agree, Mark. And I said this for a while. Look, I love Batty coming out of the minors. I thought the Mets did a terrible job in 2023 not letting him start on the team. I thought that was a morale hit. But again, you're a professional, get over it. But he's just not. He has a long swing. He never catches up to high heat. He can't catch up to a high fastball. 97 or above. He can't catch up to it. He hits a bad breaking ball every now and then. And that's it. So we wasted Tylor Megill's start. Great start. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Like, you can't lose those games. And then, after the Lindor home run, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Hey, we got 2 hits in the ninth. So you don't put a team away. You keep them around. And especially a team like the Dodgers who were just waiting to break out, who were dead in the water the entire game. Maybe one more run prior to the 8th inning of insurance, maybe would have put the nail in the coffin. Maybe they would have been like, God damn it, 3-0, here we go. We need a couple of hits and a home run, right? But a 2-run lead, a bloop and a blast, couple of hits, and you're back in the ball game. This is the thing. And again, 9 blown leads in May. You win half of those games, even 5 of those games, it's a whole different ball game. You're about, what, a game under 500? There's the issue. And again, it sucks that I have to kill Tylor and McNeil, who is not the same player anymore. Let's all get over that part, all right? I've been saying that for years, but nobody wants to listen. McNeil is a useless player if he doesn't bat over 300, right? So it was Bader, Tylor, and McNeil that needed to do the job because the top 4 guys couldn't do the job to win the ball game. So we relied on those guys. Why am I going to kill the supporting cast? Because McNeil is part of the supporting cast now. I wouldn't even call him part of the core anymore because I don't know what the hell he is anymore. The fact is, we absolutely waited for the late in the batting order to get the job done. Like, great, JD Martinez got a base hit up the middle. Alonso got one between short and third. Great. C&I singles. That's great in the first inning, second inning. That's nice. One of those 2 guys need to drive the ball over the wall. Or even Brandon Nimmo, because they were all up. Get the base hit. Get it over the wall. Hit a home run. Hit the ball in the gap. Like, I just don't understand. There's too many times with this team, no matter who it is, if it's Lindor, Alonso, Nimmo, these guys don't get a big hit more often than not. You're paying these guys to do the job more often than not. I don't want to hear, oh, this guy is fine, because I heard that the other day. Oh, Alonso is fine. You're going to pay Alonso 8 years, $200 million to be fine? No. He's got to be better. He's got to be clutch in more often than not. Because who did I see? And I talk about this all the time. Look at Freddie Freeman. Had no problem hitting the 2-run homer in the 10th inning in the big spot when they were only up a run. You see that insurance runs? That put the nail in the coffin in the Mets because they weren't scoring 3 runs to at least tie the game, and they damn sure weren't scoring 4 runs to win the ball game. You see the difference there? That's the problem. So for all the people who are like, it's the market. No. Pete Alonso is not better than Freddie Freeman. He's not better than Matt Olson. Now, Matt Olson's having a down season, but would I give Alonso Matt Olson money? Yes. I think that's a very fair offer. And the Mets weren't too far from that offer. But Freddie Freeman? No. Sorry, you're not better. You're not better. You're making me think that, you're better than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Like, if you're not a top 3 first baseman in baseball, when there's not a lot of really, really good first basemen, then what are we doing here? Yeah, but committee, we do have a closer. The fact of the matter is that was the perfect spot to put Diaz in. Again, we have this cause and effect again. Stop putting guys in situations that they're not good in. Ottavino was not good in the 9th inning. Look at his numbers. He has over a 4 ERA in save situations in the 9th. They're not a lot of games, but he's not a closer. Reed Garrett, we're expecting this guy to be miraculous every time out when he's never done it in his career. And we expect him, and then when he gives up 4 runs and blows a lead, we're like, oh, this fucking guy. Well, what do you expect? He's not supposed to be there. Diaz should have been in there. Right? Me and Chris spoke about it, and I asked him the question. Diaz should come in the 9th inning in a safe situation. You got to use him where he's best. Stop using guys in bad situations, uncomfortable situations, because you don't trust Diaz. You really don't trust Ottavino and Garrett in those spots. So why put him there? I have more faith in Diaz, who is not really trusted in the eyes of Mendoza right now, who's been a closer. All he needs is, what if he would have struck out the first batter in 3 pitches? You don't think that confidence would have got, oh, wow, that felt good. That's all he needed. And that's the issue. Yeah, easy. But Ottavino doesn't suck all around. That's the issue with you guys. You guys just like Ottavino has decent numbers when you put him in the right spots. Stop putting him in spots he doesn't win. He doesn't do well in. Sorry, Ottavino's a 6, 7, 8 guy. That's where he is. That's where he should be. Like Ottavino had good numbers last year. He has been pretty good this year. But let's not act like Ottavino's the only one that's doing bad in this bullpen. The bullpen's slowly faltering. They haven't been playing well. The bullpen has been giving up a lot of leads over the last 2 weeks. Another effect because of Diaz. Like, you put Diaz in with a 4-run lead, he blows it. You put him in the other day, he blows it. You got to use him. I'm sorry. Put Diaz in that spot today. Because if he finds it and you win the ball game and he gets the save, you might have your closer back. You win a ball game. The Dodgers lose 6 in a row, and now they got to play another game. And now they're really going to be thinking about, oh, man, we can lose 7 in a row. Easy. That's why you don't have to trust him, but the numbers are the numbers. Right? Everybody likes numbers. Right? It's hard for bullpen guys to pad stats. Sorry. The fact is, everybody looked at the last couple of seasons for Ottavino, yet he was one of your best relievers last year, besides Robinson. Ottavino is fine, but we're expecting him to do things that he's not good in. He's never been good in the 9th inning. Never. Tie ball game saves. Never. He has over a 4 ERA in that spot. How can you trust a guy that has those type of numbers in those spots, but you're not willing to go, even though Diaz has been bad? He's your closer. Get over it. Put him in. I'd rather lose with my closer on the mound than a guy that I know is not good in that spot. That's it. It's been 2 weeks now? A week and a half? Put Diaz out there. If you're never going to put him in, why do you have him? Why are you paying $20 million a guy that you might put in the 6th inning? It's a waste of money. It's stupid. Committee, he didn't want to go in? No. We're paying you to play. I call you a number. You go out there and play. I'm sorry. That's nonsense. I don't want to hear that shit. Unless he's hurt, different story. If they said, I didn't listen to the post game, but if Diaz was feeling something, different story. Then it's just, well, let's go with what we have. But if he's healthy, you put him out there. You're paying him $20 million to be a closer. This was a big spot for you. This is a spot to win a ball game, game 1 of a doubleheader. Now you're 2-2 on the homestand, going into game 2 with momentum with a Dodger team that just lost 6 in a row and couldn't score any runs. You know, it's a combination. 2 words of today's stream: cause and effect. Alonso, Nimmo, Lindor, shit. So now the effect is going to be, we got to make the supporting cast the bottom of the order win the ball game for us, right? The cause and effect. The cause, Lindor, Alonso, they haven't been doing their job being run producers. So Nimmo gets put in a bad spot, uncomfortable in a 3-hole that he's not good in, where he's never been, and you expect him to do things. It affects Nimmo now. Nimmo, who's having the best season on this team, doesn't mean you can put him in a 3-hole and he's all of a sudden going to be a 90 RBI guy, big run producer. It doesn't work like that, guys. Haven't we seen Nimmo enough to know that he's a pretty damn good leadoff hitter who is a 70, 75 RBI guy, who walks a lot, takes a lot of pitches, gets on base? That's what he is. Why do we respect the guy who's been here 7 years, who's done the same thing, and then we got to, in year 8, expect him to be something he's never been? That's silly. Sorry. All right, guys. So, Mets lose 5-2. Let me just check 1 second. Did they hit a home run already? Of course they did. Why would they? Why wouldn't they? Hold on. And just like that, you see what I'm saying, guys? This got the momentum going for the Dodgers. They got a little bit. They got that. They got that momentum boost. You kept them in the ball game. They finally got their runs. They got past that losing streak, and now they're going to destroy us. 1-0 Dodgers in the first inning. There we go. So with that said, guys, I would even say enjoy watching this game. Good luck watching this game. If you're a Ranger fan, let's go Rangers. They start in about 20 minutes. That's the game I'm going to be watching. With that said, the Mets lose 5-2 in terrible fashion. Congratulations for the guys who are getting paid and want to get paid, who are never doing their job right now. This game is on you. Good night, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I wouldn't watch the Met game. If you do, God bless you. I can't wait for my Rangers tonight to try to go up 3-1 in the Eastern Conference Finals. With that said, thank you for watching Mets Postgame Show live right here on the channel. Before you go, guys, please hit on that like button. If you're a new subscriber of the channel or somebody who just tuned in, please hit on that subscribe button. We do post games, pre games, Mets Talk Lives, Mets Roundtable. We got a ton of shows throughout the week. Tune in as much as you possibly can. Have a great night, guys. I appreciate all the support. Over 150 in the chat consistently. Love you guys. Let's go Mets, I guess. What a terrible loss, guys. We'll see you next time. Good night.